But I was skeptical, thinking that, well, these are American kids. I don't think they're going to want that experience to feel connected. But lo and behold, I was surprised. Out of 900 students in that school, 800 kids came to school that day without their backpacks, carrying their books in their hands or in plastic bags to raise awareness. I strongly believe that we are not in this world by accident, that God created us for a reason and for a purpose. In life, we all have a purpose. We come into the world with our hands closed, and I believe in that hand carries your dream, your purpose. But it's now for you to find out what is your dream, what is your purpose in life, what did God create you to be. And the goal is to raise 10,000 backpacks. We're calling it 10,000 Dreams, 10,000 Backpacks, that will be sent to 5 different African countries. And the keynote speaker is going to be Dr. Uma Obama. She's the sister of President Barack Obama. She lives in Kenya, but she's coming here. She's endorsed Mongai, and she's coming to be the keynote speaker for the event.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chatting with the Experts TV show with me, Paula Okonneh, as the host. Every week, I bring to you dynamic women from Africa, from the Caribbean, and in the diaspora. And what they do is, together with me, we educate to empower and inspire women globally. My guests are always, I say they're dynamic, they're amazing. I love that word, amazing. But even more importantly, they are professionals and successful business owners. They are women who are striving in every which way to make a difference in the world. So today, we are going to be talking about changing the world one backpack at a time. And with me to do that will be Abong Fankam. Before she comes on, let me tell you about her. Her story is one of faith, resilience, and unwavering dedication to children and families. She's a passionate advocate and stands as a voice for the voiceless, spreading a message of hope, love, and truth. She's a devoted Christian and is an inspiration to those seeking God's love, and she holds a special place in her heart for children. She believes in the unique power within every child because she sees them as lights of the world shining in God's glory. Abong is the co-founder and vision keeper of No Backpack Day Foundation. I could tell you a lot more about her, but why don't I welcome her to the show? So Abong, please join us on the show.
Good morning, Paula.
Good morning. It's great to have you here. I always say a snippet of my guest's bio because people always have such incredible and, such long bios with all your achievements. So if there's anything that I left out, please fill me and my listening audience and my viewing audience in with that.
All right. Well, you did a good job with the bio, the introduction. The other thing is I like to let people know, even though I live in the United States, but I am a proud born Cameroonian. I am from Cameroon. Yeah, 237. It's me. Yeah, currently in Charlotte, North Carolina, and a mom to an amazing 22-year-old daughter.
22-year-old daughter. Wow,
yes.
You're too young to have a 22-year-old.
That's what I hear.
Much too young. I thought your daughter was like 13.
She is 22.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're the co-founder and vision keeper of No Backpack Day Foundation. Co-founder means there's another founder. So tell us, give me the story, please, or give us the story behind No Backpack Day Foundation.
Sure, I'll be glad to do that, Paula. Like I said, I have an amazing 22-year-old daughter, and this is really her story, her dream that God placed on her heart. I have been somebody who truly believes in the power of helping other people exist, and just sharing my gifts and sharing the things that God have blessed me with the less fortunate. So when my daughter, she's called Mongai, when she was 3 years old, I took her on a trip to Cameroon to help children that had lost their parents to HIV and AIDS. And that was my passion and vision at that time, to help children that had lost their parents to HIV and AIDS. So Monga and I did what I call like annual trips to Cameroon. And while I was out helping the kids, in the different villages and different households, making sure that their needs are being provided for and they have a safe place to live. God was actually using Mongai in a different way, even though she was 3 at the time and younger. One thing that Mongai picked was that the kids not only walked long distance to school, but that they had to walk to school carrying their books in their hands or in plastic bags. And so God was gradually putting that into Mongai's heart without me knowing that that was his plan for Mongai. As a mother, I thought, well, I'm just going to share my home country with Mongai for her to get to know where I come from, for her to have that connection with Africa. But God, of course, had another plan for her. So when Mongai was 8 years old, that was 13, 14 years ago, when she was 8 years old, that's when she birthed this dream when it came to fruition.
And she was
So,
eight.
yeah, when she was 8 years old, a third grader at the time. And without my knowledge, without having any conversation with me, Mongai went to the school and told her teachers about the kids in the rural area of Cameroon that have to walk to school carrying their books in their hands or in plastic bags. And so the school decided that they were going to help her get backpacks to those kids in Cameroon. And Mongai decided to challenge them to say, yes, we can get the backpacks, but why don't we walk a day in their shoes? So why don't we come to school one day without our backpacks and carry our books and school supplies in our hands or in plastic bags so we get to feel, because it's one thing about just giving, but when you get to feel, you get to have that experience of what it means for a child not to have a backpack for 9 months and they have to carry their books, they have to walk. And sometimes it's raining and they have to hold their books in their hands. And even if it's not raining, the more you hold it on your hands, the more it get ruins. So their
Yeah.
notes and all of that, they get lost. So the school decided that, yeah, we're going to do what we call now a no backpack day, where they'll come for a day without their backpack and carry their books in their hands or in plastic bags. And that's when the school contacted me. They're like, hey, we're getting ready to do a no backpack day. I'm like, what's a no backpack day? And they explained the whole thing behind and what Monga has been doing. Like for a whole week, I've been sending my child to school. And during her lunchtime, she's going from one class to the other and telling them about the kids in Cameroon that do not have backpacks. And so I was like, okay, yeah, that's a good thing. But I was skeptical, thinking that, well, these are American kids. I don't think they're going to want that experience to feel connected. But lo and behold, I was surprised. Out of 900 students in that school, 800 kids came to school that day without their backpacks, carrying their books in their hands or in plastic bags to raise awareness. Of course, the news was there, the TV crew were there, they did televise Monga, and she was on the news, and other schools got wind of it and they were like, oh, we want to do a no backpack day. So on that first year itself, we had 8 schools that did a no backpack day and donated 500 new backpacks and school supplies that we took with us that summer of 2012 to Cameroon and gave out to kids in need. And since then, 2012, this is
25,
2025,
13
13
years.
years after, more than 100,000 backpacks have been collected. More than 50 schools have done a no backpack day, and backpacks have been sent to close to 20 countries, including Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria. 20 countries in Africa. So that's the whole story. It's just like one little dream. They say one dream can change a world, can change a nation. And that is what she's doing now, changing the world one backpack at a time.
It's so impressive.
Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. At 8 years old,
Yes,
she had a dream, she had a purpose, and she went about doing it. And what even is so impressive to me is that she did it without without telling you about it. She got
exactly,
wow,
exactly. All on her own,
all
all on
on
her own. She surprised me. Yes.
rest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
It would have
Hmm.
been wonderful if she could have joined us, but
I know, yeah, but she's at school, yes. Busy with school at this time. Maybe another episode will be with her. Yes. Hmm.
so, so talk about, now, I mean, she had a dream and a purpose. Talk about, the impact of following your dreams and your purpose.
Hmm.
Now that you're the co-founder, how have you seen that, like unravel into some of the children that you've probably impacted in the Cameroon and
Hmm.
how they in turn are able to follow their dreams and their
Hmm.
purposes?
Hunger Story has really been inspiring to a lot of younger children. And I think also I'm one of those people that I strongly believe that we are not in this world by accident, that God created us for a reason and for a purpose. In life, we all have a purpose. We come into the world with our hands closed. And I believe in that hand carries your dream, your purpose. But it's now for you to find out what is your dream, what is your purpose in life? What did God create you to be? And for me, it was at a time in my life, I was a social worker at one time, and I did the most difficult and challenging part of being a social worker was doing investigation on child abuse and neglect. So I saw everything that it contains children, and children are a special part of my heart. But then it was also overwhelming. So I started questioning myself. What is my mission? What is my purpose? And then came across a lady that really helped me to identify what it was. And to her, it was, what is that one thing that if money is not an issue, that you would do it wholeheartedly. And to me, it was just children in need. It was children in need. So from there, I had a nonprofit on the side that was called A Place of Hope. And that was giving hope to children that had lost their parents to HIV and AIDS. And of course, through that, going back to Africa, Mongai has been able to also identify her own dream of giving back and making the world a better place for other children and inspiring other children. Like when we go to these African countries and we meet children, they hear her story and they say, oh, this is what I would like to do. You have encouraged me. There's some kids that have come along and don't know backpack. They're in different countries, so they can raise the backpacks and give to children in their community. The kids that have started something on the side because of what they've seen Mongai doing.
Wow. I'm still blown away by, the impact that an 8-year-old dream.
I myself am blown away every day I look at it. I cannot believe because yes, she's my child. I'm proud of her and what she's doing, but I'm also happy that God is using her in a mighty way to give hope to children. And it's just amazing how much recognition, because when I look at her accolade, I'm like, wow, you're just 13, you're just 15, you're just 18, you're 22, and look at all of this. She's had the support of Lema Bowe from Liberia, who won the Nobel Peace Prize. As she has endorsed her, she's had the support of African first ladies. She's been to the Senate to talk to world leaders about. She's been to the UN, and I'm like, wow, just this little voice, just this little dream. And that's the importance of dream because it never goes away. What you're called to do, it's your choice to say yes to it or to say no, but it will never go away from you.
Right. You're called, but it will never go away.
It doesn't.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we struggle with it, fear, we're afraid to fail,
Hmm.
and sometimes we're afraid to succeed. Because
Yes,
when we succeed, it puts us in a different level, right? And
yes.
then when you succeed and you come to realize that your tribe is shrinking, is shrinking. And because you don't want to be in a small tribe, you want to be in a big tribe. So you're afraid to succeed, to say what, because you're thinking, what are people going to say? People are going to start running away from me. So there's a fear of failure. I don't want to fail. And then there's also the fear of succeeding, because when you succeed, it means the times that you're going to be all by yourself. But hey, you're called by God. You're called by God to do it. Yes.
He indeed is your strength
Mhm.
and your
Yeah.
source. And you put those dreams and purpose. Purpose is in us, and as Christians, we know that, we can depend upon Him to
Hmm.
guide us, to lead us, to instruct us, to show us the way to go. And it takes a while, but sometimes when we understand that the purpose and the talents, it comes from Him, then we can
Hmm.
depend upon Him to do the guiding and hold our
That's
hands, and we're not
right.
alone.
That's right. It does. To a younger child like Monga, yeah, it took a couple of years. But the people that takes 20 years, it takes 30 years for them to finally identify what their purpose is in life. So it depends on each individual. Yeah.
Yes. So one of the things I know you mentioned your own nonprofit, Place of Hope. I know we are talking about changing the world one backpack at a time, but tell me a little bit about that because that you're the founder of that one.
Yes. Yes.
So tell us a little bit about
The
that.
Place of Hope was founded in 2005, yeah. And that's when HIV and AIDS was a pandemic in Africa and children were losing their parents to HIV and AIDS. You had households that were being headed by minor children. And that really, really did broke my heart. And again, just that my love and passion that I have for kids and being able to help kids here. And then thinking about the kids in Cameroon and different parts of Africa that do not have mommies and daddies, how can we help them? So I founded this organization called the Place of Hope. And the whole idea was to help children that had lost their parents to HIV and AIDS to make sure that they live in a house that is headed by an adult and also that they're enrolled in school and that their tuition are being paid for. So with that, we were able to raise enough tuition that we paid tuition for 758 orphans and also was able to build a school in one of the villages in Cameroon. Yeah, so that's my life. That's my story.
And what it makes me realize is that, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So
That's what I
Mongai,
hear.
yes. So Mongai had you as a visible, like a mentor or someone to look up to and
Yeah.
follow in your footsteps because what she's doing is, very similar to what you are doing.
Yeah,
A mission, but
exactly.
overall the same purpose to help,
Yeah, to
give
help,
back.
to help. Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
but again, yeah. One thing I'm happy is she's living her dream.
Yeah.
She's living what God wants her to do. Because there could definitely be an apple there that she's watching, but like, no, I'm not gonna do that. That's your thing. I'm going away. But yeah, it's like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You are so right. So I know
Mhm.
off camera we talked about there's something special happening in April.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk
So
about
because of Miss Monga, again, like I said, she's had the connection and the endorsement with a lot of world leaders, first ladies. She's been invited to different African countries by African first ladies. So now she is having a fundraiser on April 26th. And the goal is to raise 10,000 backpacks. We're calling it 10,000 Dreams, 10,000 backpacks that will be sent to 5 different African countries. And the keynote speaker is going to be Dr. Uma Obama. She's the sister of President Barack Obama. She lives in Kenya, but she's coming here. She's endorsed Mongai, and she's coming to be the keynote speaker for the event. Thank you.
so impressive. This is going to be held in Charlotte, I'm
It,
assuming, or one of
it's
the
going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right. So those of us who are not in Charlotte, is there going to be a virtual version
Well,
of
hopefully. Yeah, we're thinking about doing a link. Yeah, and I can send you the link. And those who will not be able to make it, in addition to that, you feel free to support. You can still make a donation or a contribution online. Yeah, to help a child in need.
the link is going to be in the chat. So everyone who's joined will be able to look at it
Okay.
on their own.
Okay.
Yes.
Amen. Thank you.
So, all good things have to come to an end, unfortunately. So, if anyone wants to get in touch, well, I put the link in the chat, but if anyone
Mhm.
wants to get in touch with you or with Mongai regarding
Yeah.
this phenomenal job that she's doing, changing the
Yeah.
world one backpack at a time,
Yeah.
where can they find you or her? Well, who do you want them to contact? Her or you or both of you? You're the co-founder.
Yes, both of us, but more me because now she's in school and getting towards the end of the semester and all of that. So I will be the appropriate person to reach out to now. But in the summer, of course, it's going to be Mongai. And I can give you my email address, or I'll give you our email address. So,
Okay.
which is, that's my first name,
Mm,
at snowbackpackday.org. And then for Mongai is also Mongai at no backpackday.org.
Okay. And we spell Mongai, go ahead.
Mongai.
Okay, Mongai.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mongai.
all right. Mongai at nobackpackday.org, and you're Abong at nobackpackday.org.
You
Okay.
got it. Yes.
Social media? Are you all on social media?
Yeah, social media, No Backpack Day
Okay.
on Facebook. Yes.
Okay, I guess LinkedIn and Instagram.
Yes.
Okay,
Instagram,
awesome.
IG. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
those of you who are listening and those who have joined us, I always say my guests are the best. Oh, that rhymes.
Thank
My
you.
guests are
My
indeed the
guys,
best.
thank you. And you're the best too.
Thank you. And so
Yeah.
if you're a woman, and I do also have men join us and would like to be on the show, please reach out to me on my website, which is chattingwiththeexperts.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn as Paula Okonneh. On Instagram, you can contact me, and my handle there is at chat_experts_podcast. I'm on Facebook as Paula Okonneh. And I also have a YouTube channel. Just look for, subscribe to our channel, which is Chatting with the Experts with Paula Okonneh. And Mongai, not Mongai, I'm now calling you Mongai.
Call me Mongai. Abong.
Abong.
Yes.
Thank you so much for telling us about this phenomenal foundation that you are co-founder of, the founder being the phenomenal, wonderful, inspirational Bongai. Thank you for joining us today to spread the word. And again, remind us about the date of the fundraiser. Is it fundraiser?
Yes, it is. April 26th, 2025, NASCAR Hall of Fame, Charlotte, North Carolina, from 6:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Come and have fun. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you, Paula. I appreciate you
And
for giving me this opportunity.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And of course, now we open up the floor to all those who joined us to ask you any questions that I might have missed out on so that you can tell them more about how to change the world one backpack at a time.
Sure.